Good morning, beloveds. It is pouring out there. It is absolutely pouring. I think it was, I don't know if it rained over, I assume it rained overnight because the streets were wet when I got out for that walk this morning. And, but it was sunny. But I could see the weather and I was like, And I was out for about 45 minutes, and the last probably 7 or 8 minutes I was out, it was dripping. I walk loops, and so there are times that I'm close to my house and times that I'm pretty far away. And because I live in a cul-de-sac, depending on where I am, I can't get back to the house quickly. And that's where I was when it started to rain. So my house is like right here, but this is the back of the cul-de-sac. And so I'm on this street over here, so I have to go around. And I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Fortunately, it just dripped. And probably within 5 minutes or so of me getting in the house, the rain started. The rain started for sure, and I'm like, okay. And it's been pouring for about 45 minutes now. Like, the water's halfway up my porch. My patio, I guess I should say my patio, because it's just the concrete slab in the back of my house. So it's going to be an interesting weather today. Hope wherever you are, the good thing is we're getting a break from the heat today. Just, that's it. Okay. I always say drink plenty of water, and apparently the earth has decided to drink some water today. All right. It is June 27th. No, I'm sorry. It's June 28th. It's Monday. Our title is The Problem of Let me try that again. The problem of evil no longer intrigues me. The problem of evil no longer intrigues me. These facts have always suggested to man the sublime creed that the world is not a product of manifold power, but of one will, of one mind, and that one mind is everywhere active, in each ray of the star, in each wavelet of the pool, and whatever opposes that will is everywhere balked and baffled, because things are made so and not otherwise. That's Emerson. All right. God dominates my whole experience. There is so much of God everywhere in my life that I cannot see any opposite. My health cannot know disease, and my prosperity cannot know decrease. I am completely convinced that God is the only power, mind is the only reality, and love is the only atmosphere. Evil is a word without meaning. I perceive the truth, and the truth has set me free from all false speculations. Within me, around me, and through me, there is nothing but pure mind. I bask in its eternal embrace, and I think in its eternal consciousness of good. The problem of evil no longer fascinates me, for I see it as nothing. Negatives are merely my misunderstandings of positives. My attention being diverted from the unworthy causes it to disappear from my observation. I can see only that which is of good report. My eyes are now too pure to behold any viciousness in creation. God appears to me in all things, in all people, and in my own uplifted thinking. All resistance to problems is erased because the problems are merely my opportunities to prove God as the only cause. I accomplish with ease where others struggle to make ends meet. God's spirit in me appreciates my recognition of itself and outpours upon me all of its qualities, ideas, and aspects. All life moves to grant me the ability and the power to do what I know is right and fine and true. The inner upsurging of divine intelligence and creativeness impels me to right decision and right action. There is nothing to fight. There are no battles to win, to be won. There are no battles to be won. The victorious truth of my being expresses as me, and dominion over all good is mine to use. All positives are mine. All virtues belong to me. All of God is revealed to me, and I demonstrate my happiness. There's been a change in the rain, the sound of the rain. I love how right there at the very end, he says, all virtues belong to me. And yet, I actually joke that patience is a virtue, it's just not one of mine. Which is not true. I can be incredibly patient sometimes, and there are other things that I just have no patience with. So, yeah. One of the things that struck me in this is God's Spirit in me appreciates my recognition of itself and outpours all of its qualities upon me. Okay, so the more of God that we recognize, the more of those qualities that we recognize, the more we are going to be willing to accept them, because it is about recognition and acceptance. You've got to be willing to say, this is a quality of God, and because I am made from God, I have this quality. You have to be willing to accept it. We have to be willing to accept it. And so if we're willing to accept it and open to recognizing it and willing to accept it, then we can have absolutely any quality that we want, including patience. Now, take a hint from me, don't pray for patience. You pray for patience, God gives you lots of opportunities to practice patience. This is not the way you want to do it, trust me. But it is about recognizing that you have the quality within you. And patience isn't about waiting. It's not about but what it is it's about how we wait. It's about what we do while we are waiting for something to happen. So, that's another thought on that. As for the problem of evil, the reality is that there are not two powers. There are not two powers. There is one. And that power is good. Now, where evil comes in, and I've said this before and I will say this again, is it is a misuse of the power that we have. It's kind of like thinking about electricity. Electricity is neither good nor bad. Electricity is simply a power. It's the use that we make of it that makes it good or bad. When you use it to power your house, that's good. When you use it, the most extreme example that I can think of is an electric chair, which is used to end someone's life. I can't call that good. I can't call that good. Whatever your stance is on, the death penalty. Because it is harming someone. So therefore, but electricity is neither good nor bad. So the powers that we have, the power that we have coming from God, we would call God good. Therefore, there cannot be an equal and opposite power called evil. Evil is a misuse. So the easiest way to stop evil is to stop misusing the power. How do we do that? By learning what the power is and where it comes from. And then how to use it appropriately. And go from there. So the problem of evil no longer intrigues me because I know how to deal with it. Which is not to. It's not to not deal with it, to learn what I need to know to appropriately use the power that I am granted, and to turn away from anything that is not that, to make sure that when I am doing things, that not only does it benefit as many people as possible, it harms no one. And that's not saying that I can't do something that benefits just me, as long as it harms no one. So that's the rule. That's the rule. Now you want a quick check when you want to do something. Does it hurt anybody? As long as it doesn't, that it's of less importance who it benefits. All right. I'm going to reread the Emerson quote. Then you can make of it what you will. That's Rita's tale you're seeing. These facts have always suggested to man that the sublime creed that the world suggested to man the sublime creed that the world is not a product of manifold power, but of one will, one mind, and that one mind is active everywhere, in each ray of the star, in each wavelet of the pool, and whatever opposes that will is everywhere balked and baffled, because things are made so and not otherwise. There's only God. And anything that would get in the way of the will of God will be balked and baffled, because that mind is active everywhere. It may temporarily succeed, but in the long run, and it's Emerson that said it, and Emerson has said it, and I think Martin Luther has also said it, and so I'm gonna, whichever one I'm actually quoting, they both said it, is that in the long run the universe tends towards justice, which I think is closer to the Martin Luther quote than the Emerson quote, but they both said it. So God dominates my whole experience. If I'm willing to let God be everything, then that's my whole experience. This is what I am looking for. I'm looking to interact with the God all around me. Everywhere. There is, because Emerson says it, active everywhere. There is so much of God everywhere in my life that I cannot see any opposite. So I am focused specifically on the good. I'm focused specifically on the God. My health cannot know disease, and my prosperity cannot know decrease, because I'm focused on the solution. I am completely convinced that God is the only power, mind is the only reality, and love is the only atmosphere. That is a statement. That is a statement. Evil is a word without meaning. There is no power behind the word. There is no power behind the word. Mind is the only reality. Oops. Hang on. I perceive the truth, and the truth has set me free from all false speculation. Within me, around me, and through me, there is nothing but pure mind. So, within us, around us, and through us, there is nothing but pure mind. I know, it's kind of hard. It's like, but there's stuff, including a purring cat. But that comes from the mind of God. That purring cat comes from the mind of God. I bask in its eternal embrace. I think in its eternal consciousness of good. So if the universe trends towards good, if the universe trends towards justice, then that's where I'm going to stay, in the consciousness of good. The more time I spend in the consciousness of good, then the less messy my life is. And when I let myself get out of that consciousness of good, the messier life gets. And I'm not saying that I can stay in that consciousness of good 100% of the time. And I'm not saying that my life doesn't get messy, even when I'm in the consciousness of good. Because sometimes messy is good. Sometimes messy is not. But I work on it. I'm conscious of it. It is something that I actively practice. And she's licking me, and I'm a little concerned she's going to bite me. So this will be interesting. The problem of evil no longer fascinates me, for I see it as nothing. Negatives are merely my misunderstanding of positives. I do admit that that rings a little bit of that rings a little bit hard on my ears. Negatives are merely misunderstandings of positives. Because it's another version of looking for the goodness in a situation. A building collapsed in Miami. How in the heck can we find good out of that? We can't. We can't. It's a terrible situation. It's a bad situation, and we actively grieve for those families who've been affected for that. But what good can come out of that situation is now everybody's on alert, and they are going to do a far better job of inspecting their buildings in Miami now to make sure that it doesn't happen again. All right? So when we see sentences like negatives are merely my misunderstanding of positives, just don't take that at face value. It's a little more complicated than that. My attention being diverted from the unworthy causes it to disappear from my observation, because now I'm focused on what I can do, not what I can't. I can see only that which is of good report. My eyes are now too pure to behold any viciousness in creation. Ooh, okay. I'm going to continue to put myself in situations where I am less likely to encounter the viciousness. I'm going to continue to work on the world where that viciousness that I could encounter has less opportunity to. Because I want viciousness in creation to go down for everybody, not just me. I'm not avoiding it. I am actively working to create a world where it cannot exist. God appears to me in all things, in all people, and in my own uplifted thinking. Okay? God appears to me in all people because I'm willing to give people a pass in my head. I'm willing to recognize them as a child of God. Now, if they are not acting like a child of God, that does not mean I will put them in my physical presence. I will not give them a pass in my physical presence. I will call them out, just as I hope that when I'm not acting like a child of God, people call me out. Gently and kindly, but still call me out. But then I also know I don't have to put myself in physical proximity of somebody who isn't acting like a child of God. But I'm going to let them live in my head as a child of God. I'm not going to see them as anything less than that. I'm going to hold the space until they can hold the space for themselves, until they know who they are. All resistance to problems is erased because the problems are merely my opportunities to prove God as the only cause. I accomplish with ease where others struggle to make ends meet. Wow, that's kind of I accomplish with ease because I know my source. I accomplish with ease because I know my source. I know who I am. When you know who you are at the core of your being, things are easier. I'm not going to say that they're easy all the time, but they're easy. Easier. Because you have faith that it will get better. God's Spirit in me appreciates my recognition of itself and outpours upon me all of its qualities, ideas, and aspects. My recognition of it, my recognition of God, of good, of the qualities of, the recognition that they are available to me is what allows me to be willing to accept them. I've already said that. All life moves to grant me the ability and the power to do what I know is right, fine, and true. Because I am willing to work within the law. I'm willing to work within the power. I'm willing to work within the qualities of God. The inner upsurging of divine intelligence and creativeness impels me to right decisions and right actions. There is nothing to fight, for there are no battles to be won. That's a psychological thing, and they've talked about that before, about Every time we label something a fight or a war or what have you, we're fighting, then our consciousness goes at it a different way. So if we could eliminate those words, then we would choose different solutions. The victorious truth of my being expresses as me, and dominion over all good is mine to use. All positives are mine, all virtues belong to me, all of God is revealed to me, and I demonstrate my happiness. So all positives are yours. All virtues belong to you. All of God is revealed to you, and you can demonstrate your happiness. It really is about knowing who we are. So, let's see. I'm going to go with this as our mission for today. That our attention is being diverted from the unworthy causes so it disappears from our observations. That's the mission. Our mission is to allow our attention to be diverted away from unworthy causes. And then that way they cease to exist because we're no longer giving them our attention and we're no longer giving them our power. And that's one of the things, if you didn't catch Reverend David yesterday, he was really good. And he talked about our intention and our attention. Because where our attention is and where our intention is where our power is going. So if we're focused on good, our power is going towards good. And if we're focused on not good, if we are misusing that power, then so I think it's really important where we're focusing our attention. So our mission today is to be aware of where we are focusing our attention. All right, beloveds, as always, I'm going to encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. You live in this area, it might be open your windows and listen to the rain. It is a beautiful sound. I love to listen to it. But I have to go to work. So I am enjoying listening to it now. But please, loving, kind, compassion for yourself. Super important. The more you practice on yourself, the more you have to share. All right? I also encourage you, as always, to engage your mind and your body, however that looks like. I went for a walk today because I managed to get out and back before the rain got really up there. So please drink plenty of water. Take care of yourself. You're a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased always and forever. This is why it's important that you take care of yourself. You're here for a purpose, and your purpose is to express God. And that's it. That's it. To be authentically who you are. So, open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you you live in heaven now. To remind you who you are. At the core of your being, you are wonderful. You are loved. You are beautiful. And you are love. All right? So whatever your day looks like, whatever it looks like, do what you need to do to make it a good day, to make it a great day, to make it a wonderful day, to make it a fantastic day. And make it a safe day. So leave a little early if it's raining where you are. Okay, beloveds. If you didn't catch Reverend David, scroll back on the Facebook page and catch that with all the music, or you can catch it on YouTube with because that's up too. And there's a bonus. I did a short meditation for letting go and filling up, just because Danielle said, "Hey, can you do this?" Okay, sure. Just like David said, "Hey, can you do a treatment up for this?" Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I'm learning to be on the fly. If I've learned anything in the last year, on the fly. So know that you're loved. And have a good day.